Our problem statement ID is 1675 and we are the team Tra1lFinders. We are building in the field of blockchain and cybersecurity. Our goal is to determine the end receiver of a cryptocurrency transaction by performing chain analysis on the publicly available data through blockchain exchanges and differentiate between legitimate usage and criminal activities. So, cryptos like Bitcoin are used by criminals to do wild things like sell drugs on the dark web, launder money. Legitimate users are there too, but so many criminals choose Bitcoin as they think it is super private and super anonymous thing. But despite so many people mistakenly assume about Bitcoin, it's actually the most open source and transparent currencies in existence. Like literally every single transaction that has ever been made on the blockchain is recorded and publicly accessible. Like in the blockchain side, we can use the blockchain, we have later used the blockchain API to get the Bitcoin transaction that has been making in real time. So in the blockchain side, we can get from the very first block that has ever created in the way back when Bitcoin was first made, to the current block, like the 800,000 block. In each and every block the transaction is recorded and placed here, so anyone can see the transaction and like analyze on them. As we say in the technical ground, each and every Bitcoin transaction has two parts, like the from part and to part. Here we can see in the blockchain.com, we get our transaction hash of this, and we get the Bitcoin transaction through the transaction hash. And there is two parts, like the from part and to part. The from part is where the transaction is coming from, and to where the transaction is going is the two part. Like here we can say the transaction of $305 worth transaction is coming from the address 9H, and it is going to towards two addresses, the two underlying addresses. So to track the transaction, we need to gather intel about any one part of those. So this is a early build of a site that we are building now. Here we can give input of a Bitcoin address and get all their interlinked addresses with their balance sheet. We plan to do this process in the cloud recursive till a certain number of times, and give verdict based on the data we gathered, such as here all the interlinked addresses are those addresses here we saw in the from and to part. With the help of enough data, we will try to prepare charts like this to find out if the address is involved in any kind of dusting attack such as this, or not. If the address is involved, we will process further or hand over the research details to relevant organization. But in the case of Monero, the scenario changes for a bit, because Monero is fundamentally private. Though we have built the approach based on Monero's optionally transparent nature, with the help of Monero's view key, we can see all the activities a specific address has made. So, with the help of criminal investigation agencies and compliant exchanges, each and every significant Monero transaction received in the exchange, we will process the funds only after the user verifies with their public key. Here we treat the user as they are guilty until they prove their original identity, such as we see here, with the help of our website, we can give the air verdict of those interlinked addresses and mark them as critical as needed. And later down the line, we will, after gathering all the details and all the underlying data through different compliant cryptocurrency exchanges and performing OSNT over the data, that will lead us to the culprit faster. By using all the method, we want to reduce the social harm as well as build a rigid financial system to stop illicit uses of cryptocurrencies around us. We have used all the research and references to make this presentation and make the project successful. We hope to add value to our society.